What was the one thing or person that helped you transition from victim to survivor?
Well, for me, it was my mother, for sure. I spent a lot of time promising her I wouldn't, I would get out of this relationship, knowing that I didn't know how to get out of that relationship. But I knew the whole time that she supported me, and she didn't judge me, and she didn't make me feel responsible for what was happening. She just kept reminding me that she would be there for me. So when I felt like it was the right time and that I could get out safely enough, she was the person that I went to. And she's the one who made sure that, my father was on board with, keeping the house safe and locked, and not answering the phone calls and all that. So it was my family, but it was my mother. She was my rock. And again, I was a single parent at that point too. So she helped me with the daycare and that stuff, because it had to be just on me, because the safety issues were so extreme. But then it went further than that. Then it was just a matter, the more I felt comfortable there and safe there, the more I could tell the people at work, I need help. So it was a process, but my mother was the first step.
Thank you so much, Kathy, for that information, for sharing that. Callie?
Yes, hi. For me, it was his family, one of his family members who was a very close friend of mine, became a close friend of mine. She was very honest with me, very patient with me. Though at the time when I gravitated towards her and asked her to help me, it had been like my third or fourth attempt at this point. I knew I couldn't do it alone. She did give me resources. She guided me step by step what I would, what I would need to do. I needed to get the restraining order. I needed a court advocate. I needed to have a lot of things in place. Of course, and an attorney. You don't want to fight this alone without getting representation. Making sure that that I was in a safe place to do it. Like I said, it had taken many, many attempts, but she had never stopped being my friend. She was very patient with me. And like I said, she had that relationship with him where she confronted him, and that helped. She told him that he was wrong, and I just had to take that step. I needed to be the one to say enough is enough. I needed to know when that I needed to leave.
Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, Kelly. Haley.
Yes, so I would say the one thing for me that helped me go from being a victim to a survivor was education. So learning about domestic violence and abuse. And for me, I would say that learning process had two parts. So I think the first part was acknowledging and accepting that I was in an abusive relationship. And the second part was accepting the fact that my ex was abusive just because he was abusive, and not because it was my fault.